Welcome to another short road trip video. Today I take a journey down to Carbonado, Washington, kind of at the foot of Mount Rainier and the gateway to Mount Rainier National Park. And our trip, not that far from home. Our trip starts in my hometown of Black Diamond, Washington, which is just like maybe 15 or 20 miles away from Carbonado, just to the north. Our journey takes us down the 169 freeway, through Enumclaw, out to Buckley, and then of course out through historic Wilkeson, and finally into Carbonado. Started the trip out with a stop at the wonderful Black Diamond Bakery, which has been around since 1902. They have a great coffee shop, pastries and cakes and all sorts of good homemade stuff. I just went with the good old-fashioned ham and egg scramble, which was awesome. And one unique thing about this place, they start every meal with a peach and a muffin. So how do you beat that? Before we headed out to Carbonado, I had to stop in Enumclaw and take care of some civil business, as my tabs were due. Shout out Tim Iman. But after that was all settled, they drove through Enumclaw, which is kind of gotten pretty decent size now. It's just under 12,000 people. I feel like there's a whole sea of new restaurants and cool things. And right after Enumclaw is Buckley, Washington, which is maybe most famously known as the fictional home of the Black Sheep movie with Chris Farley from back in the 90s.
Scott? Oh man, kid's got a cannon. Go on. Okay.
Oh, brutal, Granny. And Chris Farley's character ran the Youth Activity Center, which is right here in Buckley. But they have a great tribute to the veterans of all the various branches of the Marines. Took a nice walk along the Frontier Trail, I believe it's called, which originates in Puyallup and goes like 20-some or 30-some miles all the way up to Buckley, and I think into Enumclaw is where it finally comes to an end. But I just walked the Buckley portion of things, and I saw the sign for Chinook Pass, which made me think of one of my favorite racehorses as a kid, the great Chinook Pass.
805, he's Chinook Pass.
Not a whole lot to downtown Buckley, just a lot of small businesses, and I kind of took a little quick walk down Main Street, which didn't really have a whole lot going on a Friday morning. It was kind of a soggy, very typical Northwest day when I was out there, but here's a few looks at downtown Buckley. Buckley's maybe best known for Wally's Drive-In, which used to be, I believe, Wally's White River Drive-In, but now it's just Wally's. So, anyways, from Buckley, it's just a couple miles out to Wilkeson. I've actually done a video on Wilkeson, which I'll include right here above if you click on the top right of the screen there. Wilkeson's a super cute town. I really dig it. It's just, I mean, it's maybe a quarter mile long or a half mile long once you get into town here. The sign right here says, "Welcome to Wilkeson Historic Coal Mines and Sandstone." On the backside, it tells you how far it is to Seattle and Tacoma. But from Wilkeson, just a couple more miles to Carbonado, which was my destination for the day. And Carbonado is pretty tiny. A population of 701 people. The main thing listed on the map was the Carbonado Saloon, so that was my first stop, and you see that right here. And I love their sign that says, "Have you been carbonated?" The guy walking up on the porch there, I'm guessing worked there. He was real nice and told me some things about the place. And the town itself is really just a few rows of houses and folks living there. There is a church that is on Church Street, as you can see right here. The church has been there since 1898. I'm sure it's obviously been remodeled as the materials on the outside look pretty new, but I thought it was neat seeing that the community church had been there in that same spot for well over 100 years. Saw the fire department. The school was actually really neat. It's a historic school. They have kind of a new wing there, but the old traditional building is there. About 198 kids go to Carbonado School. It's basically K through 8, and in the high school, I believe they go up to Enumclaw. But that was kind of my trip through Carbonado. Not a whole lot going on there, but houses and folks living their lives out there. It's just so quiet out there. That's what I kept thinking was really neat. The last stop in Carbonado was the Carbonado Cemetery, which was kind of on the hill right above the Carbon River, and very beautiful, very quiet, and lots of old stones. What I thought was interesting was I saw a number of graves that were people who were killed in the coal mines. Now, Carbonado was a huge coal mining area. In fact, Carbonado is Spanish for Black Diamond, which is kind of interesting because Black Diamond, the town, is right down the street where I live. So here was one of those folks who were killed in the coal mines, and then there's actually a memorial to all of the miners who lost their lives in the coal mines out near Carbonado. So that was my day trip out to Carbonado, Washington. Like I said, not too far from home, but just one of those places I hadn't really seen before, and glad I took the time. So thanks so much for watching. If you'd be willing and so kind, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.